Yep, I'm one of those people that invested $500 into a digital marketing course with master resale rights. And in this video, I want to share exactly what happened to me by making such investment and the impact it had on my business. When I came into the year 2024, I came into the year financially like so many people, showing up in my business, making my money to pay the bills for the current month and maybe the month after. All I can tell you is in a very, very short span of time, I was drastically able to transform my financial situation because of this digital marketing course. And I want to emphasize, because we're all grown adults, it's never truly because of one thing. So it's not I was able to transform my financial situation because of this course, but because this course entered my life, it prompted me to make better decisions and to look at my business differently. And that's exactly what I'm going to dive into today in this video. So you can actually really understand how this course and the possession of this course, right, helped me to be able to transform my business, allow me to transform my finances. But as I look at my numbers right now, my business is up 216% from last year. So if I compare last year's numbers for the exact same time period to this year's numbers, exact same time period, up 216%. Where can a girl like me go? Where can someone like you go and be able to experience such growth? And I always encourage people, like, look at whatever you have earned thus far this year, right? And now multiply that by just 100%. Like, what kind of impact would that have on your life? Multiply that by 200%, right? What kind of impact would that have on your life? This is why I show up and do what it is that I do, is because I don't want people to just know that the possibility of making really great money online is available and possible, but I want to share with people how you actually make it possible. And I don't think a lot of people are out there doing that. And so on my channel, I spend a lot of time sharing my journey, sharing my results, but then also backing up by letting you know exactly how I'm able, to make such growth possible in my business, so that you can decide to model it, copy it, duplicate it for yourself. And the really fun thing about my business is everything that I do, it is duplicatable. And I'll talk about all of that as we go throughout this video. So grab a notebook, grab a pen if you really want to pay attention and dial in, right? And be able to see yourself in the steps and the examples that I'm going to give you on how I was able to invest $500 right into a digital marketing course with master resale rights, and exactly how I was able to take the information in that course to transform my business and get the kind of results that I have been sharing with you. I'm going to break this down into 3 areas. The first area is very, very robust with a lot of decisions that I had to make inside of my business that really has played the big part in the financial upswing of my business. So I would really, really take notes on this, because it's a lot of these areas where, again, I was failing in these areas, but it's also a lot of areas that are overlooked by a lot of people that are just getting started because they're so quick to want to get out there and just start making money. They don't give these areas very much thought. So the first area, we're going to categorize it as, this course allowed me to refine my own digital marketing skills. So I've been online for quite some time and I've made some really, really great money over the years. However, I didn't have a very well-oiled machine. I didn't have a true system. I didn't have a real business. I was more so out there, making money, just doing things to make money. But the moment I stopped doing those things, my systems would stop, right? Systems, whatever that was at that time, they would stop. And my ability to make money would stop as well. That is not the case inside of my business right now. And again, such a blessing, because what I was able to learn and how I was able to refine my skills from this course, it enabled me to put together a very well-oiled machine. So one of the very first areas that I had to focus on is getting solid on my niche. I really never gave my niche much thought. I just kind of went out there and I just kind of shared what it was that I was doing. And my mindset was kind of like, well, everyone wants this thing. Everybody wants coaching. Everybody wants to make money. So it was like whatever I was selling, I was more excited over getting out there and selling the thing than really focusing and honing in on a niche, and then getting really specific on the people that I wanted to serve in that niche. So it was really, really difficult for me to share messages that really connected with people. And one of the areas that one thing that I realized is that when I took the time to slow down and get solid on my niche and the people that I wanted to serve, and I really began to understand what they wanted and how I can serve them, I was able to better meet them, right, with the solution and create content and messaging that they could actually hear. And what that ultimately did is it brought way more ready people, like buyers, into my business, which allowed me to start making money faster. Think of it like this. I had to weed through a lot less people. On any given week, my business weeds through a lot less people to produce sales because I learned how to niche, choose my target market, speak to my target people, right? And I'm able to speak with more people that are actually ready for what it is that I have to sell. So one of the big things I want to, share when it comes to everything in area one is that it really does involve you deciding to slow down and really, really learn. And that's what so many people make the mistake of when they invest into these digital marketing courses with master resale rights, is they just want to invest, get set up, and start trying to make money. That's not at all how it works. I'm going to repeat that again. That is not at all how it works. The way it works is that you use the information in the course to either refine your skills, like I've done for myself, or either to get a really, really great start if you're starting from scratch, so that you can actually lay a strong foundation that's actually going to help you go and grow a lot faster than the average person just trying to make some quick money, right? But they don't know what it is that they're doing. So along with getting solid on my niche and filling in those holes, and then getting really, really solid on my own personal branding, always reminding myself that it's my brand that I'm building. It's not a product, it's not a service, it's not a company, but it's my brand that I'm building. I got way more mindful over my brand. I got way more solid on my actual messaging, and that enabled me to grow my influence. A lot of people miss this. People are not out there buying products and services. They're buying into people. They're buying into connections. They're buying into relationships. And so when you first start off by getting solid on these are the people that I want to serve, then you tailor everything in your business to those people, from your brand to your messaging. You then begin to have influence, right? Which helps you make sales a lot faster inside of your business. Now, I will tell you, choosing your niche, choosing your target market, getting solid in those areas, and really doubling down. So that was hard for me because it was new for me. But I took time. Like, I remember one specific weekend, like I really sat there and I can't pull it up, there's a bunch of stuff on it, but I had a big yellow legal pad. And I remember, like, I was doing all of the work that I was learning in this course, right? And I was taking notes and I was really defining who they are, what they want, the questions that they ask, all of these individual things. It allowed me then to remind myself that every single time I create videos or I write emails or I do anything inside of my business, if they would not buy it, if they would not like it, then do not do it. So it allowed me to be a lot more mindful over everything that I did. And then getting solid on my brand and my messaging allowed me then to step into a space where I began to be a lot more influential, where people were reaching out to me like in droves, desiring to buy from me. Not desiring to buy the thing that I was promoting. They might have been out there searching for that kind of solution, right? Or looking for someone that was selling that kind of thing. But then when they came across my content, I really became the logical choice for a lot of people. And if you decide to work with me or come into my community, you're going to hear these kind of stories from people that have purchased my digital product and have elected to get mentorship from me. Like, they knew once they started consuming my content, right, that they actually wanted to buy from me and work for me. That's what this course, right, enabled me to slow down, right, and really begin to refine. And again, by doing these things and exerting my influence out there, it allows the buying process to work a lot faster. So many people consume my content and are ready to make a buying decision before they ever even go over to my website. This is why I share this kind of information, is because I want more people to know that if you give your business thought, if you invest properly and you learn from what you invest in and you treat your business seriously, that you absolutely can influence, right, the growth and the results inside of your business. No one is popping up online deciding not to learn anything and going out there and making $15,000 and $20,000 a month. No one is doing that. Us that are making the bigger money, it's because we're deciding to slow down and really get serious about these things. So don't get excited over the money you hear a lot of people in the digital marketing and digital product space talk about that they're earning. Instead, ask yourself, I wonder what they're doing. And are they willing to share with me what they're doing? Are they breaking down the nitty gritty, right? Because if they're not, oftentimes you will blow your money and not have the full picture on how that kind of financial success is possible. Now, the one thing I will say about influence is this is definitely a continuous work in progress. So by having access to this course, I get to constantly log in, right? Learn more, consume more, refine my skills. It's not like I have to consume a lesson and then try to figure out how to take the entire lesson and throw it into my business. Oftentimes I make notes on things that I know I need to implement, and then slowly, week by week, right? Write this down, 1% better. That's what I focus on, right? Taking one thing that I learned in a lesson and then applying that to my business. And then next week, taking another thing and adding that on. So week after week, I just keep getting better in the areas of my business that I'm focused on growing. All right. So just know that all of this really is a work in progress. Nothing is truly one and done. But that's how it should be. Like, I believe the people that are willing to do the work should be the people that are out there winning, right, and making really, really great money. Now, this one was a biggie for me, was focusing on my audience growth. Oh my gosh. Like, I cannot believe how much time I spent in my business doing videos, doing stuff, and I never had an emphasis on audience growth. I was kind of just showing up and doing things to make money, but I never truly knew like the size of my audience and or the rate in which it was growing. So in this instance, when I really started, again, honing in and focusing in, I realized that my average videos were maybe getting 100 views. Like, it was sickening. And at that time, I had about 7,000 subscribers. My channel had been through a lot, so I kind of understood like why that was happening. However, when I understand and I knew that there's, again, over 2.7 billion people on YouTube, just the volumes of people, it made zero sense to me how I could create content and virtually nobody was, consuming it. Again, by learning about niching and again, getting solid on who I wanted to serve, I started creating better content. That content began to grow my audience. So I went very, very quickly from videos that were barely getting 100 views, live streams that were barely getting 40 or 50 views, to videos, right, that were getting like thousands of unique views every single time I uploaded, right? So because of that, my audience began to grow. Because of that, my email list began to grow. And because of that, the sales started popping a lot faster inside of my business. Now you think about that for a second. That should be a total like no duh moment. Like no duh, if you don't focus on audience growth, you can't expect your money to grow. Right? But again, it was one of those mindsets that I had prior to this course. Just show up, be really, really busy, be all over the place, right? Give your call to actions and the sales are going to come, right? Build it and they will come. That wasn't the case. I found myself launching all the time. Like, I was running myself ragged. It was so hard to just make $5,000 or $6,000 a month consistently. When I got to a place of, again, refining all of these, building real systems, having a real flow about my business, it's not uncommon for me to look up and realize that I'm already at $10,000 for the month, which is now like the minimum for my business. And it feels like I hardly did anything to make that possible. Why? Because I, in fact, did do things, right? But those things have been building momentum. I've been doing the right things. I've been implementing systems, right? So I can look up and halfway through the month, I'm already at $10,000. That's how a business is supposed to run. You shouldn't be grasping and trying to figure things out every single day like a mad scientist. You should actually get to a place where your business really does have a rhythm and a flow. If you focus on audience growth, right, everything else will take care of itself inside of your business. And when you focus on growing your audience of the right people, and then you have your branding and your messaging, and then you insert your influence, oh my gosh, like that's really when things begin to multiply. I went from an email list that was very willy-nilly with its growth because I wasn't focused on it. I was more focused on getting out there and selling. You might see a lot of people out there, right? They're always live on Facebook. They're always live on Instagram. They're giving their call to actions, right? But they're leading people straight to their sales page. They're never building an email list. That was me, right? For many, many years prior to getting access to this course. Now, I've known about growing my email list like forever since I've been online. But again, it was one of those things that I felt like it's going to slow me down, and I didn't really focus on it. I wasn't intentional about it. Well, when I got intentional about it, right, again, as I grew my email, as I grew my audience, guess what? Happened as a natural byproduct. Not only did my sales grow, but my email list grew, and then more sales became, right, because I had an email list that I could send regular emails out to that allowed me to actually make more sales. So again, as you can see, like this course allowed me to look at all of the holes. It allowed me to refine my skills. It put the important things right back into like my eyes. It allowed me to realize, girl, like you're not building a business, right? Do these things and your business will change. So I started doing these things. I started filling in these holes, right? And I'm telling you, in a very, very short span of time, my business changed. We're at the end of the 6th month of the year. And as I said earlier, I started the year like so many other people. Showing up, making money to pay the bills, right, for the current month and maybe the month after. About 4 months into my business, bills paid for the entire year. I'm telling you. Sometimes it's hard to share those things because sometimes it still does not feel entirely real. But it's like I must share them because it's other people's success stories that allowed me to realize, wow, like that kind of quantum growth is possible. But I had to realize that I had to do things differently. So as I looked at people, this is a really, really big learning point. When I looked at people that were making the kind of money that I truly did believe was possible for me, it wasn't enough to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. I had to step back and really ask myself, well, what are they doing differently? How are they doing things? Like there has to be a reason for why it seems like you guys are in the right church, but they're getting way different results. And so when I really stepped back and began to pay attention to what they were doing, fundamentally, I realized I was not doing things in the same way. And again, this course allowed me to drop in and it gave me the information. It gave me the intel. It gave me the data that I needed to begin making course corrections inside of my business so that I could do things differently and begin to get different results for myself. That is really, really important. All right. And then the final area is I went from no automation, hardly any automation. Like I've always had capture pages. I've always had sales pages, right? But I didn't have a true well-oiled machine, right? When I really paid attention to setting up and I got intentional about setting up my automation, I'm telling you, my strategy inside of my business, again, sales just began to pop. I remember it so vividly. Months ago, my husband asked me how was my business going. And when I replied to him how well it was going, I remember it wasn't because of the money I was making. It was because of the confidence I had in how the sales were coming in. Like I wasn't having to telegraph the sales. It wasn't like I knew the sales were coming in because I spent time talking to people. The sales were coming in because my system was working, because my audience was constantly growing, because targeted people were entering my email list, because people were watching videos and buying. They were joining my email list and buying, right? Like my system was very strategic. It was very planned out and mapped out, and my system was working for me. There's a difference between having a business where it's like you know what sales are coming in because you had to work on those sales. Very different to washing the dishes, doing dinner, sleeping, and you wake up and you're like, I don't even know this person. Or they just opted in minutes ago, or they just opted in yesterday, or they didn't even opt in, but they watched a piece of my content and purchased immediately. That's a feeling that I've wanted to feel for a very, very long time. That was the certainty, right? That was the confidence that I wanted in my business for a very, very long time. But in order for that to manifest, I had to learn how to do things differently, right? And so again, for this first section, right, this digital marketing course with Master Resale Rights, it allowed me to sit still, refine my skills, fill in the holes, and begin to do business differently so that I could get different results for myself. Now, if you're just getting started and you're like, Steph, I know nothing about any of these things, the great thing is you can decide to learn about these things sooner versus later, so you don't have to make the mistakes that I made and so many other people out there are making. This is exactly why, like, when you go over to my website, you're going to see at the very top, right, once you opt in, it's going to say Digital Marketing Simplified. We've simplified the process of learning these digital marketing skills and learning how to run a real business online so that anyone can begin to learn, can then begin to apply these skills and to begin getting set up for online business success, right? And step out there and go ahead and call in their own unique level of results, right? It's all up to you what you want to do with it, but we've simplified the process so that anyone can learn these things, and so that tech or automation or traffic or none of these things have to be, right, a factor to your failure anymore, or a factor to your not knowing what it takes anymore. Now, for the second really big idea around my investing $500 into a digital marketing course with master resale rights, it's really, really easy, right, to make the assumption that somebody would invest $500 into a digital marketing course with master resale rights because they want to simply resell it. Like, that is such a big misconception out there, because those that do have that mindset, those that have that attitude, those that have that expectation are literally the ones out there that are flailing and failing, right? Because they're not using the course and the material for its intended purpose, which is to actually learn, right, these digital marketing skills so that you can get out there and be a success for yourself. So for me, like, no cap, when I first purchased the course, that was my mindset. Oh, how fun. I don't have to create digital products anymore. I can hop into this course and I can just resell it and help other people. But what I realized was there was a lot of things that I needed to fix. So when I dove into this course for myself, I realized how much this course was my life vest. That this course was way bigger than buy the course so that you can resell the course, or buy the course and get it set up so that you can resell it. Because then we go again with the same cycle of people thinking that they can just purchase something or invest into something and go out there and have instant success without ever learning the business. Right? And so it's your job, it's our obligation to use the information, to use the course for its intended purposes, because then when you learn what's in the course, if you do decide that you want to exercise the master resale rights license, now you know exactly how to go out there and begin selling it. Right? You know how to establish your niche, how to establish your target market. You know how to set up your automation system. You know how to pick a platform, how to begin creating content, how to begin calling people into you, right? How to build your own email list, how to implement email marketing, all of these things, right? Where I filled in for my own business. Everyone honestly has to learn these things. You learn these things in this course, and whether you decide to sell the course as your own, or whether you decide to create a digital product or sell anything you have your heart set on, you're going to know exactly how to sell it. The biggest lesson that I will say, or the biggest takeaway when it comes to this, is I literally became a product of this digital marketing course. And because of everything I already shared, yes, of course, when I get out there and people are looking for such a product or looking for such a person and they discover me, of course they want to buy it from me. Why? Because I've done the work. I'm a product of digital marketing, and I inspire people, right, to want to get started in this way for themselves. Right? I give people an opportunity to be able to duplicate, to model exactly the way my business is set up. Literally everything about my business outside of my unique personality, you can learn within this course. And even when it comes to your unique personality, we show you how to leverage and how to drop into and embrace your unique personality in the content that you create, so that you call in, right, your most ideal buyers, where you become the logical choice for them. Again, that's the part of branding and messaging that so many people are lacking. The final area that I want to touch upon is this course allowed me to understand what gratitude is really about. This course humbled me in a lot of ways, because I was someone that's been online for many, many years, and I've made a lot of money online. I've promoted and sold and marketed a lot of different things. And so when I came across this course and I began to really, really dive into it, once I got over the whole allure of the master resale rights, right? I realized that I stunted my own growth by trying to go so fast and by hopping around and by not really being serious about my business. You know, if you've ever been an athlete, I've never been an athlete, but I've read a lot of books about athletes, and my daughter was an athlete. So I've been around the concept of athletics for a long time. And I remember at one point, one of her coaches said, there's those that have talent, right? Like natural talent. And there's those that have to work really hard or harder than those that have the natural talent. But often what happens is those that have to work harder right from the get-go oftentimes end up like excelling beyond or advancing beyond those with the natural talent because they are accustomed to having to work, where the person with the natural talent just relies on their natural talent. Well, that was kind of me in business. When I came online, I made money really quickly, right? Because again, I'm charismatic. I have a big personality. I'm not afraid of the camera. So I was able to get out there and instantly began to like do the work that a lot of people are really afraid of. Well, I began to rely way heavily on that, right? And even though I developed skills, a lot of the things I talked about, I didn't treat as like fundamentals of my business. I didn't treat them as like true foundation. I wasn't serious about them, right? And because I wasn't serious about them, I didn't really develop that business muscle around them, right? And so my talent eventually began to wane, right? Because a lot of the fundamental things like consistency, persistency, not being willy-nilly, sticking with things, loyalty, a lot of those things, right? I was missing. When something stopped working, I just hopped off to something else. Well, that's not good for business growth or business momentum, right? So again, this course, huge humility. It really brought me down. It was a huge wake-up call of all the areas, right, that I just was not great at. And it allowed me, right, to look at those things, make those adjustments, again, to finally have the business that I desired. Because it brought me to that place, I realized that as I began to make more money with a lot less effort, that I wanted to get out there and really help more people. I wanted to really share with other people, not the money that's possible, right, but what it actually takes to get it. Because the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of people out there that are trying. There's a lot of people out there making bad financial investments. There are a lot of people out there that just keep spinning their wheels and they keep avoiding, right, the actual work that's involved. So this course, again, was a huge wake-up call. It was my life vest in terms of a resource to help me, right, and tapping in and taking more responsibility in my business. But it also, it humbled me, and it made me really want to be down for people. Because the one thing, as I look at my own business, I always say I could have arrived here, right? Whatever arrival is, I could have arrived here a lot faster had I really known. But at the same time, I'm very grateful that my journey has been what my journey has been, because without all of that, who knows if I would have really understood, right, what all of this was about, and if I really would have taken advantage of it the way that I've taken advantage of it. I'm grateful that I was able to see this course as the opportunity that it was. Because at 49 years of age, I made a big pivot inside of my business, and it was pretty scary. But to know that I made a pivot at the age of 49, and then in less than a year, I was able to radically transform my situation. Again, I don't even recognize my bank account. That's huge, right? Don't even recognize my bank account. When I think about last year at this time, I wish I would have brought that up because it's like I want to cry. It was crazy last year at this time. Crazy. So I know what's possible in a very short span of time. And I do believe a year is a short span of time. And to be very honest with you, I did it in less than a year because I started the year, right, not where I am today. So literally 6 months, right, so much has changed. And it's all because I saw this digital marketing course with Master Resale Rights for what it was. I dialed in and I used it for its intended purposes. And then I went out there and I began to inspire other people that are very sincere about learning these skills and getting the business set up for themselves. That's why I make money actually selling this digital marketing course to other people. Fact remains though, I could sell anything I want to because of these skills, because of everything I broke down in this video. I could take the knowledge, I could take the skills, and I could go out there and sell anything that I want to. And on the back end of me selling this course, I do make more money through affiliate marketing. I do make more money, right? Because I'm able to exercise my influence and my expertise and sell other services and things, right? Because I do have this knowledge and I do have these skills. And that is what I want for more people. Please write this down. Skills pay the bills, and making money is a skill. When you develop the skills, you'll put yourself in a position where you will for always be able to write your own check. Because these skills, you'll always be able to use them and exercise them in such a way where you can create your own opportunities. You'll never be left in a way where you have to depend upon someone giving you an opportunity, right? You'll be able to create your own opportunities. I can literally think of an offer, send it out to my email list, and make money by sending an email, right? That's what I want for more people. And if you've been out there trying to make money and you have been failing, it's again, you're lacking the skills. Making money is a skill. You have to learn how to, in fact, make money. That's what I love about this course, is it helps you develop the skills, learn the business of online business, and help you get set up for online business success. Write these 4 things down in closing. This is how you win with a digital marketing course with master resale rights. Number 1, you invest in it. Number 2, you have the integrity to learn from that which you invest in. You don't just shelf it. You don't just try to blow through it. You don't just try to go make a bunch of money with it. You learn from that which you invest in. Then you apply what you've learned directly back to your business, right? So that you can get set up, right? So as you heard me talk about filling holes, that's what I did. As I learned new things and refined my skills, right? I dove right back into my business and I began to fix things. I began to implement things that I had not implemented. I didn't just go through it, right? Literally, I watched, I paused, and then I did, right? Now, just from the implementation, right? Clearly my business began to transform and I made money. But then I got really, really amped and I wanted to share what I was beginning to experience with other people. And that allowed me to amplify my earnings. And so no matter what your niche is, no matter what you want to sell, all right, you can make money from actually just selling the thing. But the moment you step out there and begin to exercise your influence and you begin to actually share, inspire, empower, educate, teach, and really care about people, you will amplify your earnings. And that's something a lot of people don't talk about. You'll learn that in this course as well, coupled with my mentorship. Clearly, as you can see, you're going to learn everything that you need to learn about digital marketing and making money online successfully once and for all. But I love the fact that this course does come with that infamous master resale rights. And as you can tell, when you leverage this master resale rights properly by putting the education first, right, this master resale rights will allow you to be able to sell this course as your own without having to create a digital product of your own right from the beginning, which allows you to step into a space of being able to begin selling a lot faster. When I came online many, many years ago, that's exactly how I got started. And the reason I was able to make 28 sales in my first 30 days online, no one knew me. I had no email list. I had no branding. I had no messaging. I had no influence. I had no audience. I had no nothing. But I started showing up every single day, creating videos, right? Connecting with people. And I went from nothing to 28 sales in my first 30 days. But the reason I was able to do that so quickly is the only thing I had to focus on was applying what I had learned from that first digital product and then getting out there and focusing on the marketing. So you don't have to go into creation mode. It doesn't have to take you months and months and months to create something prior to selling. You can begin to use what you learn in this course, right? Apply it to reselling this course as your own if you desire, right? Get some wins, get some experience, right? And then if you decide that you do want to create your own digital products, that is certainly an option for you. And I share that for the person that might be a lot like me. When I first got started, I did not know anything about selling. I didn't know what was available to sell. I knew nothing. And so literally it was like a godsend for that thing that I invested in to also give me the opportunity to sell it and make 100% profits, right? Because I was able to get out there and make money really quickly. I was able to build my confidence, and that confidence was everything. Because when I made my first sale on day number 3, I was like, oh, if I can make one sale, I can make thousands of sales. And that's really all that I needed, was proof that I could actually do this. And so that's what I love about the master resale rights, is if you don't know what you want to sell and you start learning and you're like, oh my gosh, more people need this, you have a ready-made digital product that you can begin selling, right, and earn high ticket money. We're talking $500 every single time someone buys this digital marketing course from you. So I'll drop the information down below in the description, and just know, like, if you love my style, you've loved my vibe, right, thus far, how would you love to have access to weekly mentorship, right, to help you as you're going through the course and putting all of this together. Right now, for a limited time, my mentorship is included. So again, I'll drop all the information down below in the description. Get the information, right? Decide to get started and decide to change your life in the next 6 months. We have 6 months left of 2024, right? Why not decide for transformation? Why decide, right, to again, like keep playing a losing hand? Why not stack the cards? Forget like what you felt like you were dealt, right? Give yourself a new hand of cards, right? Decide to play at a higher level, right? And decide to get something different for these next 6 months for you. Wherever you are right now, I'm here to tell you, you can decide, right, to step into a different place. And that's exactly what I did for myself. Y'all, I'm 50 years old, right? So it literally is never too late. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've tried, it is never too late to give yourself a new start. But the one thing I will tell you, it is always, always, always too late, right, to keep doing what has not been working for you and expecting a different result. Time is out for that. All right. I'm so glad that you hung in here with this video. I hope it inspired you. I hope it empowered you, right? And if you're one of those people, you've been out there looking for, right, these digital marketing courses and proof of life, like proof that it's working for people or proof of how it's working for people, and that it's not just some scheme or some ploy to get your money, right, or a quick money game, but that there's real substance in this, I hope that I've been able to share that with you. I look so forward to being the mentor on your journey and seeing what you do.